Another one of those early morning streams brought upon by the amazing inability to go to sleep or really feel all that tired. And I guess to an extent, I feel tired right now, but I guess I've been feeling a lot more tired over the last few days because everything's just been such a mess. No, I tell you, people really put you through the ringer sometimes. Okay, okay. I want to make sure that my audio was working good, just to see if things were all right. Um, in the past, I did the most blame man of all time streams, right? And the central theme at the heart of each one of those streams was this idea that people almost sometimes very desperately want to believe that like you've done something wrong. This must be your fault. You have screwed up in some way. And I always think about how, you know, I understand that whenever we assess ourselves, we tend to be, biased in our own favor. We try to defend whatever position we've taken. But sometimes I'm truly astonished by how people can make something that's like not about them, or if it is, they're a part of it, and just everything is like somebody else's fault or you screwed up in this way. There's almost never any acknowledgement of like, maybe I could have said this, I could have done that. I can't believe I actually forgot to put something behind my back to make sure I would be able to not have the same issues as last time, but whatever, it is what it is. I'm just saying, I find it interesting that every time you turn around, there seems to be this thing with people where they can just never acknowledge their own wrongdoing or see the other person's perspective whatsoever. Now, I have outlined repeatedly, I have said multiple times, I thought it was insane that someone would work a job and for a period of not 1 month, not two, not three, not four, not five, but half a damn year, their entire check goes to the bank and to this other person who is just doing this for the sake of getting something for themselves. Let me turn this thing off before the crybabies come back. Yeah. I'll never not be disturbed by some of the most irreverent nonsense that people can get caught up on. Like, you have a beeping noise in your background. Like, so what? Damn, if you don't like the noise, don't watch the damn channel. I don't choose to have it in the background. That thing's been messed up since before I got here, and it'll be messed up after I leave. Like I said, most irrelevant stuff people can just latch onto and make a very big deal. But as I was saying, it's really frustrating when someone is working a job and every cent that they make is going to things that they can't find a benefit from. And I talked about how, like, the bank thing was whatever to me, okay? I know that when you're dealing with matters of the law and transactions and whatnot, I don't expect to be cut a break by anybody. I know that even if I think it's unfair, right, that someone else did this and I have to pay for it, whatever. It is what it is. It's an ordeal to be endured. But I genuinely believe there is something screwed up about a person who, for over a year, they're paying 300 just to live with their own relative, um, being charged that same amount while in tandem being expected to pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars for this other thing as a part-time employee whose hours can fluctuate from 3 days of work a week to 2 days of work a week. They gave me five for about 3 or 4 weeks, and I was all on, on top of the moon. But besides that, it just seems like everything is designed to be as unfair as possible. To go back to what I was talking about before, um, I've always said that for me, when I do things, I need to feel like it's building towards something, like there's a purpose to it. Like I'm not just going to be in this same position forever and ever. Like if I can do a channel and see the views increasing, I can feel that things are getting not getting better, but like there's actually like some progress here. It's not I'm not in the same position I was a year before, even if I haven't really gained many subscribers, whatever. People are at least watching the stuff. If I write a script for a video and then I keep fine tuning it, I'm hoping that eventually it'll be so fine tuned or so well put together that I can put it up and it'll be the way that I wanted it to be. If I mean, we can go down the list. If I'm applying for jobs, hopefully one of these places is going to eventually hire me, or else all those applications will be for nothing. They'll just be this thing that I did for fun, even if it wasn't fun for me at all. But I digress. All this is to say that when I spend 6 months having every cent of my check, damn near, going to two sources where I just can't feel a benefit, and I have this person who's aware of this, but they can just never bring themselves to say, you know what, you're paying a lot to the bank. You don't have to pay for this month. Never can bring themselves to do that. They'll have some scheme. Oh, well, I asked this person to send you this amount for this month. But it's never, hey, damn, this is a lot of money. And you also have to pay for your own food and gas and other utilities. Like if something happens to your car, you have to pay for that. I mean, it's like they almost created this idea in their mind that they were owed something by me. And if I had any objections to any way they were doing things, or maybe I thought something was unfair, get out of my house. Get out. Just leave. And this is what created the friction that pretty much exploded over the past week, where I sat there in silence, in pure misery, because I said to myself, when somebody gets a job, like let's say somebody works for 5 days a week and they make $400, $500. Let's just say it's like almost half a thousand, right? If someone's getting 4 to 5 days of work every week, for a month, that should be somewhere from 1,000 to thousand something dollars. And it's like, I think there is something wrong with the premise that this person who has worked cannot get something that they like after working. Like I sat back sometimes and I said, here I am. I've put in over 600 hours at this job since November. And I'm afraid to get a $10 book, not because the book is so expensive and astronomically high, no, because I have to also worry about paying the bank this money, paying this relative their ransom, and then whatever the cost of food or gas will be over the course of the next couple of weeks. I mean, it just becomes so frustrating to see yourself, because we talked about how stupid a guy like Molecule Splitter was, right? The get out there and expletive win. It's like, you don't understand that if someone is working every single chance that their job allows them to work, and they can't see a benefit from all of that work, they're going to be depressed. They're going to be sick of this. They're going to say, there's no point to that. This is stupid. Like, how excited would you be, the viewer, if I said to you, you are going to make $1 million in the year of 2024, so in like the next 6 months. And out of that $1 million, you are only going to be able to use 2,000 to do things with it that you would otherwise, just for discretionary purposes, like just things that you do for leisure. Like, let's say you want to go on a vacation, or you want to, I don't know, buy a video game console. Like, think about that. You make $1 million in 1 year, which I'm not saying I do. I'm just, this is a hypothetical. But let's say you make $1 million in 1 year, and every cent you out of that $1 million, out of that thousand thousands, you get to use exactly two of them for the sake of doing whatever you want to do with them. Does that sound exciting to you? You sit back and go, "Oh man, I can't wait to do this." No, it's lame. Imagine if someone told you that in 2025 you're gonna make what's a good example? What's another high? Let's say 500,000. In 2025, you will make $500,000 from your job, or multiple jobs in the case of some of us having to work all these hours. And out of that 500,000, you're going to spend, and only be able to, excuse me, you're going to spend 4,095,000 on housing and gas and other utilities. So that means out of that 500,000, you get to use exactly 5,000 to just do whatever you want with. No one thinks that sounds lame. Like, and that's why the points I made. I said, as far as I can remember, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, the average apartment in California is 1,800 a month, right, for rent. So in a hypothetical scenario where, let's say, I make 2,000 a month, that means I have to have the majority of my check go to paying rent, right, which is like 80-90% of it. Then I have to find a way to make that 200 that's left over, that little few hundred, squeeze that out for however much the different utilities cost. I mean, who wants to live like that? I'm serious. And I'm only bringing this up to say that I've talked before about how expensive things are in my state, in the US, etc. And so when I devise a scheme of like, okay, well, I guess I'll just go sleep in my car, or I guess I'll, you know, just not even have a house. It's like, I'm not doing that because I prefer that, or I want to do that, or that's desirable to me, or, oh, yes, I can't wait to have no address. Like, that's not something that is appealing to me for that reason. It's simply because I don't understand the point of working all these hours of attempting to make some money if you damn near don't get to keep any of it. I just don't understand the logic of that. Who does that appeal to? Certainly not me. I said before, and look, I'm not going to claim I have some giant, huge, enormous list of friends or whatever, but I don't think it's a coincidence that I don't know a single. I personally, this is just what I've seen. I'm not saying that it's a statistic. I have personally never encountered a person who was under the age of 40 that was able to live by themselves. I'm dead serious. I've never met a single person in the last 10 years who was able to live by themselves, either in my city or in my state, that wasn't at least 40 years old, unless they received some kind of like inheritance from someone else that made a whole bunch of money that passed away, or they're working with another person. Because I said before, like, the roommate angle was the only thing I could think of when I said, with these apartments costing as much. Like, if it's 1,800 and two people split it, then it's not as big of a deal. Then it's like a few hundred on the part of both. But I'm just saying that it's something I've observed where it seems like most people can barely afford even living in any of these stupid houses. I've also talked about the fakeness of relatives, right? People who, and I always say, like, my thing is, It's one thing for people to say that they love someone, but they can't help them with this, that, or the other, because sometimes that may be true. But it's another for people to keep putting that person down. Okay. I remember last year when I didn't have a job, I was called lazy. I was told I didn't want to do nothing. And I said, how is it that I get hired somewhere? And this isn't something I've had for a few weeks, few days, even a few months at this point. It's been 8 months. And in those 8 months, most of my shifts tend to be in the evening or early afternoon, right? Anywhere from like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like it ranges all over the place. I'm not even saying that for the sake of hyperbole or anything. I truly mean that you could have a shift that starts as early as 11 in the morning, which are the ones I despise the most, or one that starts as late as 7 or 8 p.m. And I said to myself, how is it that I start working at this place and I don't feel any more accommodation from the same person that would call me lazy for not having a job than I do now. I mean, imagine like somebody being fully aware that you mostly work during the afternoons and evenings, and they call you in the morning about, oh, can you get my package from outside? Can you go and you know do this other task for me at my house? Right? It's like you would think if you're aware that this person works during the latter part of the day, you're gonna give them some kind of leeway, like, okay, he goes to work at 5 p.m. Let him sleep at 8, 9, 10, 11 a.m. Get his rest because he's going to be up for the rest of the day after he gets up. But no, I've had multiple instances as recently as this past Thursday when the big shutdown happened, where it's like this person knows I'm going into work at 5, 6, 7 p.m. and they wake me up at 7 in the morning about $100. And I was talking about how, and in recounting what happened, it's not even just that someone is constantly dogging you for some money, but it's that it's done to such an excessive extent, almost not like just to the point of being completely annoying and needy, that you just withdraw. You're like, man, I'm tired of paying all this stuff. You're at the bank on Wednesday and they contact you about, oh, can you get the 100? Then you go back to their place. Oh, where's the 100? Then the next day they wake you up at 7 in the morning. Make sure you leave the 100. Then the day after that, excuse me, not the day after that. 2 hours later, literally right after I finished streaming, good morning. Can you leave the 100? Then they use some other person that comes to the place to call to their phone to tell you to leave 100. Then when they think you're going to your job, when you're actually just leaving for some other purpose, did you leave the 100? I mean, it was like 7 attempts to inquire about some damn money, and I just got sick of it. You know, this is not love. It's extortion. It's greed. It is certainly inconsiderate, but it's not love. It's not actual concern for someone, because, as I've said before, what causes me to just say, you know what, forget it and just pack stuff and leave places is when I know that the person, and it's not some landlord, right, who I have some contract with. It's an individual who claims to care about you. They put up all these stupid social media posts that mean nothing. They go and they tell their little friends things about you, usually tinted in their favor. Um, but none of it means anything. Every aspect of their concern for you is hinged on green pieces of paper. If they did not receive these transactions, you would be seen as like dead weight. You would be nothing to them. And they don't care how much other stuff you have to pay for, how many other things you're worried about being able to pay for. They will always do this because that's the only thing they care about. And I mention this to say that I keep thinking about this time and last time, right? And I said, here's someone who works a job, and like I said, that molecule splitter guy is just such a complete idiot. It's like you work this job, you put in all these hours, and then when you can barely make it, you're going, and then and the person who can barely make it is like complaining because it's just like ridiculous. You're going to tell them to go out there and expletive win. Like you use these stupid phrases that don't mean anything to dissuade from actually addressing what the problem is. Because I said before, I'm the first person where if I get sick of an institution or system that I don't think is beneficial to me, I would withdraw. Like, I'm not going to sit here and keep paying something that I don't believe is allowing me to be able to live in a non screwed up, backwards type of way. I'd be the first one to say, look, this is stupid. I'm done with it. Forget it. We're through. We're finished. That's exactly what I said on that day. I said, look, this is because I'd contemplated doing it the month before, and I had kind of slowed my heels because they made it sound like the stuff was going through. They always try to make it sound like this month will be the end of it at last. And as the month progressed, and I just kept having to keep paying for this, paying for that, I said, man, this is stupid. This is never going to end. And I left. But no, it is funny. Everyone's always trying to extract something out of you. Give me this. Give me that. Pay for this. Pay for that. Give me this. Give me that. Give me pay for. It's really interesting. Yeah, I was in this Discord server shortly before deciding to stream, and I was actually kind of marveling at how there's just people join VCs and they go in there and they're screaming, saying all types of stuff to like purposely get a rise out of someone. And as crazy as it is, sometimes I almost prefer it because I join these VCs, and a lot of these people just kind of sit there. They're barely saying anything, or they're playing some game, or someone's staring at their watch. I'm just astonished at how you can have a room, 6, 7, 8 different people, and not a single one will talk. But when that troll comes in there writing all, saying all that weird stuff, here they go. It's always so fascinating, isn't it? No, I've just long since abandoned trying to make any sense out of this stuff. Because for me, it's just It's just what's the point, you know? I mean, when I saw my job only giving me two shifts for this week and the week after that, I was in shambles. I said, "Are you serious?" Like they were trying to do it for this previous week, only give me three, but then I was able to get another shift by picking it up. And I said, "Man, to think that if I want to just stay with this relative and pay this thing for the bank, I have to." The only solution I can think of is getting two jobs. And as I've explained before, this one kind of, again, people don't like it when you blame these institutions because they all like to play defense for companies for whatever reason. We have this like internalized despising of each other where we just can never, come together and like agree something is just bad. But I said, if you have a job where they have you and can pick you for any day between Monday to Sunday, with the exception of Saturday, and the hours can be as early as 11 in the morning to to 1 in the morning, right? Just like this 13-hour window. And it takes about an hour to get over there. So that means that like if they start you at 11, you leave at 9. If they start you at 4, you leave at 2. This means that you really can't get a second job, at least a second one that you can go to repeatedly throughout the week, because the first one you have has such an inconsistent, dare I say, unstable block of hours that if you were to try and get a second job, you would just have to, I guess, hope and pray that the hours they give you never overlap with the ones from the first one. Because even if I tried to, again, if for example, you want to work for one place, you start working there at, let's say they have you come in at 6 in the morning, right? And the shift ends at 10, 11. Um, you better just hope that if they start giving you that every Tuesday, your other job doesn't start trying to have you come in at 11 a.m. on Tuesday of the following week, because if they do, you're screwed. Because even if it ends, if one, like let's say, ends at 10 and the other one starts at 11, because of how far away the other one is, you risk being late. So the only solution I can think of is to try getting a second job that is in the mornings on the weekend, and then if this one decides to put me there, like have me work for them. Let's say, for example, 11 a.m. on a Sunday, then we'll have the same problem again. So far, that hasn't happened yet, but these places are always looking for a way to destroy some employees, so you never can put it past them. But no, the thing I dread the most is trying to get a second job, because I really, the worst part of jobs for me has always been the search. I despise filling out applications that 9 times out of 10 won't go anywhere. I hate wasting all this gas driving to these stupid interviews where the, you know, manager or whatever either can't be bothered to show up, or if they do show up, they start telling you that, we have this expectation, and smile on your face and never call you back. It's just a messy, obnoxious set of things that I'm just not excited to see a continuation of. And that's one of the reasons why I'm so reluctant to walk out of the few jobs that will hire me, because it's like I don't want to go back to that. I don't want to go back to driving here for nothing, filling this paper out for nothing. Just everything is for nothing. It's all just so pointless and just obnoxious and a waste of time and stupid. Like, ooh, I can't wait to fill out this application so that I can hear nothing back from this company next week or the day after that. Ooh, it's just it's dumb. it's just such a big mess. But I guess the period of the last 18 months has been so fascinating, you know. Somebody will kick you out over locking your bedroom door. Uh, Another person will try and play savior for like 60 days before they get sick of you and give you this weird ultimatum to pay $500,000 while you don't have a job. And then when you're like, hey, this is stupid, I can't afford it, you leave. And then there's this agreement launched where it's like from May all the way up until November, you're just shelling out $1,000 every 3 months to stay at this place. And at the same time, this is going on, you know, you finally get hired somewhere and you're like, okay, I can at last see some comeback, a benefit, and then it just keeps going lower and lower and lower. And you're like, damn, this is just a mess. It never improves at all. And my favorite thing about the job search, just to like backtrack a bit, is that one of the things they like to do is when you go on the interview, they're like, how many hours do you want? And I always say 40, and it's like, what's even the point? Because you say 40 and then you look on your schedule and they have you for 10 and 17 and 15, all this other trash. And what drives me crazy is that what I've started to see ever since I had my current job is that when I go for interviews now, they'll ask me if I want to be a full-time employee, and I'll say, you know, part-time. And they'll try to act like they really need somebody for full-time when I know damn well that if I didn't have my other job, they would still not have me for 40 hours. I haven't had a 40-hour job in over a year because these companies are not interested in having full-time employees. They don't want to pay anyone if it's like a, let's say like a restaurant, 20 an hour or anything. They want to pay three people the equivalent of one person. They're gonna, instead of like hiring one person to work Monday through Friday, they'd rather have one person do Monday and Tuesday, somebody else do Wednesday, somebody else do Thursday and Friday, because they're just not interested in like committing to their employees at all. And that's why I said, unless you're a manager, you can forget about actually being able to live off of any of these stupid jobs. Managers are the only ones that get 40 hours a week, and you know they get so many damn days, that so many damn hours that they don't even have to work 5 days a week, right? They get like these 10-hour shifts that start at sometimes like 11 in the morning and don't end until 7 p.m. or some other, I mean it, they get so much over, you know, just like time of just being used, that you really do start to think, damn, like, are you serious? You'll give these people 40 hours, but if I want 20, it's too much. Like I said, I don't want to quit because that might lead to something even more unstable. But when I saw that 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. thing on that schedule again, I just put my hand over my face. I was like, here we go again. And it's like they're gonna have me there coming in at 7 p.m. and leaving at 12. So it's like you have to leave at 12 and then get back up at 9 p.m. the next 9 a.m. the next morning to go over there and start your shift that begins way too early. Like I said, that's one. I'm not someone to normally drop shifts, but that's one where I might actually want to give it to somebody because I just think that's insane. Oh, these hours are all over the place. But no, I can't wait to apply for another job and get the same result. Hearing nothing back, going to some stupid interview that leads to nothing. I don't know. I'm debating if I want to go over that dumb thing that person wrote because I kind of been like leading, you know, like doing a little preamble monologue, but the temptation is definitely there. I have to say the one good thing about this morning compared to the other ones is they finally stopped firing off all those fireworks. Also, I should say that I was so excited about to like yesterday because I had ordered this lamp and it was supposed to come yesterday and then it just never came like at all and it really pissed me off because there's currently no lights here except for the one in the bathroom, uh, which is, I mean, it's like I could, I'd rather not stream in there, but I guess I could. I just would prefer not to because it's a very, I just think it's an awkward area. I'll put it that way. I just think it's sad you order something. First, it's supposed to show up on the 5th. Then they're like, oh, well, actually, no, I take that back. First, it was supposed to come on the 3rd. Then it got delayed to the 5th. Now they're like, oh, anywhere from July 6th to 8th. I'm like, man, you have to wait the whole weekend and then Monday as well. All this for a light. Yeah, I probably would sooner go to. I got off so late, but I'd sooner go to some office supply store and just see if I could find a light to put out here. I mean, I guess we can go over this goofy message. We've dithered long enough. So, like I said, the main things that caused the situation from this week were, having to pay the bank this much and then pay this other person something, and it's like paying that person that thing by itself was fine until the other thing, the bank thing started, where I just felt it was too much. It's like you're paying $1,000 a month on top of, again, like your basic expenses of gas and food and anything else you might need for that period. So that's the actual thing that led to this. That it's been like that like that way, or that way rather, for half a year at this point. So in their crybaby message, they wrote, "If you're moving, please come get your things. You don't appreciate me and everything I do. I'm dealing with your property management company and then tenants. Just because I asked you for 100 before the first, you left. That's just crazy." I'm sorry, they put that just crazy. You had the money. I had the management company send you 660. So you're a liar and you have money in your savings account. You're mean to yourself and everyone else. You need help. Get you some Medi-Cal and go talk to a therapist slash psychiatrist. Nobody in their right mind wants to sleep in their car or buy a van to sleep in. So I said earlier that the biggest problem with a lot of people nowadays is that they will take a situation and almost like they have some, like their fingers are made out of the same material as scissors, just cut away at the things that are actually causing the problem, right? So like if you read this message, nowhere does it mention anything about, hey, look, I know you're paying the bank $700 and that's on top of the 300, but I sent the person this, like that doesn't get mentioned on, which is like the actual problem, that it's two things eating away at you every month. That doesn't get referenced at all in this this message. You don't appreciate me and everything I do. I'm dealing with this, that, and the other. It's like these things are all you running your mouth. You're not paying for anything. Uh, I mean, that's the reality of it. It's just flapping your gums. Okay. Just because I asked you for 100 before the first, you left. That's just crazy. Now, again, in their recollection, they leave out the part that they asked me for $100 7 times in 2 days. Where just every time they spoke to me, they kept asking, "Where's the money? Where's the money? Where's the money? Can you get the money? Or you get the money?" I mean, and it's like they also don't. factor in that you pay them 100 that day, and then 3 4 days later they have their hand out for $200. So it's like you're gonna pay they're gonna pretend that, oh, it was just $100. Never mind the fact that I was also going to expect you to pay 200 for this other thing in the future. I mean, it's again lunacy. It's like the person doesn't they're not actually trying to address the situation. They're cutting away at the parts that are actually the problem to make themselves look better. That's what these people do. uh, you're a liar and have money in your savings account. You're mean to yourself and everyone else. Okay, let's say I'm very mean. I'm just this hostile person. I'm awful. I'm so terrible. I'm very mean. Mean, 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 mean. What the hell does that have to do with paying somebody $100 before the first? See, this is what drives me crazy. They get caught up in all these stupid personality contests, but really, what all this boils down to is money. They said the same thing last year. You're so mean. It's like, yeah, but I didn't go homeless because I was mean. I went homeless because you tried to charge me $5,000 every month while I was unemployed. I like how that part just gets left out. Nobody wants to talk about that. That gets hushed. Shh. Be very, very quiet. Seriously, they will not reference that at all. Like that part doesn't even get brought up in the slightest. Uh, You're mean to yourself and everyone. And let me also say this. I have relatives that you know what? No, I'm not gonna. Well, I guess I could say like I have relatives I check on. I just don't understand what this mean thing has to do with paying all this money. Like again, you get caught up in all these stupid personality tests, but every actual problem that's occurring is having to do with money. Pay this, pay that, pay this, pay that, pay this, pay that, pay this, pay that. So all the stuff about that, I could be the most despicable person in the world, but you're still going to charge me all this damn money anyway. It doesn't matter. How nice would you be if every damn cent you made for the last 6 months went to two things that you get no benefit out of? Oh well, you have to pay 200 for internet because you need internet. It's like I need internet for my computer and phone. I was able to get internet for just those two devices for less than $40 a month. Like it's literally, again, most of it is going and being used for other people's crap. If it were for me, I could just pay my 40 instead of 200. So again, that's another. I love what they call somebody else a liar. That's some projection. That is some straight up projection. They just make things up. You need help, get you some Medi-Cal and go talk to a therapist slash psychiatrist. Dude, my favorite thing is like they always. This is what gets me, and I've noticed this with a lot of these stupid. People will call me the I word or whatever, but like I've noticed this with a lot of these stupid females. They try to do the whole psychiatrist thing. I really boil it down to concern trolling, where they sit there and like they don't actually like care about your mental health. After all, if they did, they would sit you down and go, "Hey, are you all right?" Or what? How come you won't say anything? Are you okay? But they never do that. They just only speak to you when they want you to perform some task. Go pick this person up from this school that's 30 miles away. Go buy some water. Go pay this. Your actual health as a person is completely irrelevant to them. That's why they never talk about it with you, because you're nothing. You're an outlet for green pieces of paper and other forms of labor. That's all you are to them. But I was saying it's interesting that they always feel the need to invoke therapists and psychiatrists and all these different psychiatric people, when in reality, I've said this before, I think that most of the issues I have boil down to a lousy environment. And I'm not like I'm talking about multiple factors. It is horrible to apply for jobs and hear nothing back year after year. You get discouraged, you get sick of the process, you just I mean, I got to a point where I just truly believed no matter what job I worked, I was going to get fired after a month. But I didn't just believe that because I'm just this very negative person who thinks the world is no, I saw that happen multiple times, right? Two different jobs I had, after a month, you're out of there, hired to fire. Um, the woman thing, it's like you go and you try to become friends with some of them, and in some cases, maybe you like one of them here or there romantically, whatever. But like you try to have stuff with them, and you see the train wreck, the nightmare, the disaster, and it's like you can call somebody these terms and say they need help. Oh my God, look at what he said about women. But what do you say about the woman who agrees to go see a movie with somebody and then tries to get them fired 5 weeks later, 6 weeks later because she got lightly teased? That person does not need psychiatric help. They don't need therapy. Hey, you turned on this guy so damn quickly. Hey, you got lightly teased, so it's worth murdering him by destroying his livelihood and having him sleep on the streets when his you know constantly begging relatives demand money from him and he can't give it to them anymore because you got him fired. I mean, it's just I find it incredible that no one ever talks about maybe the environment causes this man to be depressed or dissatisfied or disillusioned. It's interesting, isn't it? Seriously, nobody ever sits back and says, all this therapy stuff is cool on paper, but isn't there something wrong with a living situation where you have to pay the bank hundreds of dollars and then the person who you already were paying hundreds of dollars is like still doing this? That's not something that would make a person depressed, frustrated, angry, disillusioned, disenfranchised, etc., etc. Really, that wouldn't cause you to go, man, this is stupid, I'm done with this? Only me? If a person applies for 100 jobs and gets like two interviews and then after that they still aren't hired, you don't see where somebody would say, yeah, this is dumb, I'm not going to waste my time with this anymore, it's all pointless. Like, I had a website I applied for jobs on for years, and I think out of all the times I applied, I got like hired by one company. And that's what it caused. It made it to where I don't want to use that website anymore. I think it's all a bunch of scams, all a bunch of people just trying to collect data. It turned into this thing where the it's not it starts, and this is why I said it's a question of, is this really a person who is actually needing of some kind of, like, actually has some kind of mental problems or disorder, or are they just in a crappy situation that most people would probably not like either? I'd love to know who the hell would get excited to work for 6 months and have all their damn money get drained away from them. Who's looking at that and going, yes, excellent? Like, who's excited for that? Who wants to go and drive 30 miles to pick somebody up from school, which is not your responsibility, twice a week, and then not be given 1 cent of gas for doing that? Who wants to have to buy 90 or 100 bottles of water every week, even though at most you drink probably 20 a week, because somebody else likes to waste them? I mean, like, I ask, like, who's excited for this stuff? And it's why I said, like, if people were serious about having a conversation about mental health, they would actually talk about what external factors cause a person to be depressed. They never sit there and actually, because again, it's not about actually doing something about a problem or addressing an issue. It's just stupid people trying to sound smart by running their mouth about things they know nothing about. Hey, person, I'm going to feign concern for the mental health of, you need to go talk to a therapist or psychiatrist. Well, where the hell was your desire to see me talk to a therapist or psychiatrist and I was getting drained every month all my goddamn money? Because if that wasn't happening, there is absolutely no way in hell I would have, gone from here to there, whatever. From there to here, rather, I should say. Got it backwards. But again, these people, they're just concerned trolling. Like I said, if mental health mattered to that person, you would have seen them talking about it before they got mad they didn't get their little $100 ransom a few days ago or last week or whatever. It wouldn't get mentioned in some stupid text message. And my favorite part, nobody in their right mind wants to sleep in their car or buy a van to sleep in. Now I'm going to say this. In a perfect world where I didn't have to, I could just get one job and have 40 hours a week. And maybe I had a roommate. Maybe I had someone that I got along with relatively well. And the rent, let's say it's like 1,800, 1,900, 2,000. I mean, hell, maybe let's even say 2,200, right? In a perfect world, where me and somebody else who I enjoy being around, who I actually don't mind living with, are both working jobs and paying for all this stuff. Maybe then I would actually be willing to put up with the cost of living in California, right? But I'm sorry. I'm the kind of person where if you give me a situation that is not ideal and I truly don't think is going to get better, I'm not going to put up with it. Like my salvation was supposed to be living in the place that I own and then, whatever stuff had to be paid for here or there, that was whatever. But I didn't get that because I got charged 300 a month by, the also loving relative and didn't receive the money to pay for the place either. So it was just minus, minus, minus. And I should also say, in reverse of that question, nobody in their right mind wants to work for 6 months and not make damn near anything they can actually keep because they get charged 700, 800 by the bank and 300 by some greedy relative. Nobody in their right mind wants to have to work 2 to 3 jobs just to have somewhere to sleep at night that's planted to the ground. And this is what drives me crazy. The framing of this stuff is so childlike. I mean, it should be fully understood that when I talk about the possibility of buying a van to sleep in or live in or whatever, or like last year, right, with the sleeping in my car, I didn't want to do that, but hell, I knew I couldn't pay 500 a month with no job, and I can't make someone hire me, and I sure as hell can't make them give me enough hours to even be able to pay that stuff. So it's like it's so obvious these are last resort efforts that in this screwed up, overpriced society are being done by people to give themselves just a tiny bit of relief. Remember, I don't have to pay rent to live to sleep in my car, right? I don't have to pay rent to uh install a refrigerator in a van. I mean, it's so frustrating that they write this stupid stuff and then they make it sound like you're crazy. Like, sorry, I don't want to spend $3,000 a month just to sit in some tiny house where you can't even put your stuff anywhere because it's so damn small and no one has any space to do it. Like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know that was such a crime. God, they write this stuff and they're so smug about it too. Like they really said something smart. Nobody in their right mind wants to sleep in their car or buy a van to live in. It's like, well, hell, nobody in their right mind wants to pay all this goddamn money every month. I'd love to know who would be excited. Hey, you wanna have a house? You wanna have your own place to live in? Just have to work 2 to 3 jobs a month. Oh, and don't eat for a few days because all of your money is going to go to your rent and whatever other utilities that appear. I would love to know who that's appealing to. I'd be the first one to sit back and go, oh, let's hear this. I mean, it is pure lunacy that, first of all, they even write this stuff and think they're saying something that makes you look dumb. But secondly, that like these people, and I want you to understand, like, they have this sinking ship mentality. Like, I talked about the mundane existence, right? Just this idea of people. Like, I know that Jem was calling them sleepwalkers, but these people who like don't actually aspire to be anything more than what they are. There's no way I'm going to be almost 50 and be afraid that if I don't get my next paycheck, I'm not going to have anywhere to live tomorrow. People will despise me for saying this, but the truth is, by the time a person, and I'm just going off the average American life expectancy, I'm not saying it's the same for everybody, but the truth is, by the time a person has reached their mid 30s, they have lived half of their life. And I cannot see a scenario where I would be satisfied with myself if by my mid 30s I'm living paycheck to paycheck and oh man, I'm afraid if I don't pay this by this point, the bank is going to do this to me and this is not a position I want to be in. And a lot of these people who have made bad financial decisions try to drag you down with them. Because if this person was as smart and astute as they try to pretend that they are in these comments, they wouldn't need my 100 just to go and buy some damn toilet paper or whatever the hell else they were trying to get that day. Everybody always wants to tear someone else down like they're so perfect and great. Like, get out of my face. I remember last year. He's lazy. He doesn't want to do anything. He doesn't want to work. He doesn't want to. And then here you are working for 8 months and you don't get any type of credit, no relief. Nope. Just the same old lies being spewed again. Just because you have a job doesn't mean you're not lazy. It's like, well, that's not what you said last year. It's so crazy how the definition for words change so fast, right? Because when you think about the word lazy, it's supposed to be or denoting of someone who does not work. I mean, that is generally the group that refers to. But when you have a person who does work and who says, "Hey, like I'm serious." Last month, when this idiot said, "All you want to do is work," because I didn't want to sit there and drive 30 miles to pick somebody up from school, I put my hand like this because I just couldn't believe that came out of their mouth. Your description of someone being lazy is that all they want to do is work. Like, what the hell's wrong with that? I mean, working is what people should be doing, right? According to American society. So why in the mother of hell would that be a thing that you would attack someone over? Because they don't want to perform your stupid side quest? So man, people say things and it's like no logic, no thought is put into it. Just say whatever. Just anything that comes to your mind, just say it. Forget if it makes any sense, if there's any basis for it, just say it. So many lies. Which I thought was funny. They accused somebody else of being a liar, and it's like, look at all the stuff they're saying that's not true. But that's always the part I find the funniest. All these stupid personality evaluations, like every problem is tied to money. If this person had received their $100 last week, it wouldn't matter how mean I was. As long as they got their Benjamin Franklin, they would have been like, ooh, come on. It's just so stupid that because again, it's like that weird moral high ground pretending, right? You have to like feign this idea that there's like a there's like a civic problem with this person. Oh, they they're hostile. It's like they're not even bothering anybody. They're just trying to work a job and like survive. And yeah, they're upset because all their money is going to this stupid stuff that has nothing to do with them. Who wouldn't be? But whatever. It's always my fault. People just expect you to be this complete doormat. And if you ever say enough is enough, it's like the worst thing in the world. Because before, like I've seen it now where if I do a video on somebody that treated me badly and they see it, they act like you have committed some cardinal sin. He talked about me on the video. It's like, look at all the times people did things to me, and I'm just supposed to sit there and like not say anything, really? I'm sitting over here on the Hills website because their browser is a nice bright color. And it allows me to, I guess, not feel like my head is even bigger than it is. Just the way this stuff is reflecting. I'm so angry about that damn light. They kept telling me it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, and it never came. Come and get your belongings. Oh yeah, that's love right there. Every 3-4 days telling somebody to come and get their stuff. That's them saying they don't want anything to do with you. They don't even want your things around them. Who in their right mind wants to sleep in their car? Who in their right mind wants to pay all this ridiculously priced crap? Like, give me a break. Damn, they're really trying to get rid of this thing now. Wow. That's always one of my favorite parts about a lot of these the things I see on these websites. Like they're just the prices fluctuate on them so much where you'll see stuff that's like $40 or $50, and then when the seller is like really trying to get rid of it and being like, all right, come on, go, take it, take it, take it. They start knocking the price down a lot. There is one that they just will not let move though. Oh man. Like I said, the whole thing is just sad to me. People have really decided that they don't care how truthful or lacking in truth what they say is. They just make things up. I have to say it's one of the few streams with my undivided attention because I gotta use my phone as the damn light due to the wonders of. And I know somebody could say, "Oh, how come you want to order something instead of just going and picking it up?" Because I try to get the best deal online that I can get, and shipping again is like an ordeal to be endured. But most of the time, I'm generally satisfied with what I get online. in terms of the pricing of stuff. Man, it's just one of those days. I just wish things were simpler, you know. There's some alternate universe where I have relatives that actually care and like, you know, if they truly believe you're homeless, they're gonna go and look for you. They're gonna like not create the circumstances where you feel like you have to not have anywhere to live to have a little bit of money. You know, they are actually going to support you in basic endeavors like trying to get a job, or you know, if you're hungry, for example. Um, I sometimes like really, again, the problem is when you had the background that I did, you know that things don't have to be this way. And I know that these people can always convince themselves that they are doing nothing wrong, that this is normal, but it's not. Talk about it's crazy to leave just because someone asked you for $100. It's crazy that you have to that you, the person who makes twice as much as me per hour, is trying to ask me for $100. You know, damn $100 to get some toilet paper. Get out of my face. Supplies. You're mean. I love the personality test, man. It's kind of like if somebody said, "Move your car, we're gonna tow it," and then you don't move your car and it gets towed, and they're like, "You were so hostile to us when we spoke to you." It's like, okay, but the actual like problem here is the person's, you know, not moving a car which got it towed. All the stuff about personality is irrelevant. They get caught up on the most like ridiculous, unimportant stuff. It's so fascinating. So many lies just get spun around, you know. And of course, they accuse somebody else of lying, which is even funnier. Like I said, all the stuff I've mentioned here, there's proof of every last bit of it. Um, with them, they do a lot of dishonest framing, where they'll mention half of a situation without going into like the details of stuff. Like, oh yeah, just give me $100 today, and let me completely about the part where I wanted 200 a few days later. Oh yeah, you're mean. Let me also pretend that your personality had any impact on me trying to squeeze as much money out of you as I could. All it comes down to is dollars. For these people, if you're not a founding father or a president on a green piece of paper, you might as well not even be a thing. That's why I said this whole situation just drives me insane. Like people just they never tell the truth. And like whatever the online people, I don't expect, you know, honesty from them, but with some of these people, it's just like blatantly obvious they blank out on purpose of things that don't make them look good. Like we talked about how, you know, last year the Zelmi 500, and how this person afterward tried to say that I could have offered to pay this. Like, no, you came to me asking for some crazy amount of money. I said no and left. That's it. Alternatives. Basically, they tried to pretend that I didn't say, "Let me just pay the thing I regularly pay," and then they tried to, you know, act like I owed them something. Like, get out of my face. already said before, I wouldn't like I'm very serious when I say that there is just a lack of humanity, a lack of empathy, and it's coming from people who want you to feel bad for them, who want you to help them in whatever type of ways they want. And all the time they're getting trying to get all this stuff out of you, they're tearing you down. Hey, person who I need to pick this up, you're lazy. Hey, person who's working a job, you're lazy. Like you're mean. Like all these stupid terms get thrown around, but if you're nothing as they claim you are, why do they need this stuff out of you? Just liars, man. Damn, Agumi, you came right as I was going to turn this off. Glad I made it to this stream, and if you ask me, I feel feigning concern is one of the worst and lowest things you can do to someone. Dude, you should have seen it when I dipped on Thursday of last week. They called up my job they had the performance of a lifetime. They're like, he didn't come home yesterday or last night. But guess what? It was that was a Friday that they called. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. They sent me a beautiful gem. I'll read it again. If you're moving, please come get your things. You don't appreciate me. Oh, and everything I do. I'm dealing with your property management company and then tenants just because I asked you for 100 before the first. You left. That's just crazy. You had the money. I had the management company send you 660. So you're a liar and you have money in your savings account. You're mean to yourself and everyone else. You need help. Get you some Medi-Cal and go talk to a therapist slash psychiatrist. Nobody in their right mind wants to sleep in their car or buy a van to sleep in. And dude, I was saying, like, it's almost as if this is the year of people just, they don't even care if they like accurately cite what happened, right? Like they'll they'll talk about something without actually, okay, what is the root problem here? Because the root problem is, while I did pay the 300 a month, right? Ever since that peace summit back in May of last year, um, it has become simply too much goddamn money to have to pay that much a month and then pay the bank 700 or 800 at the same time. And it's been this way for 6 months. So in their message, you notice they don't say anything about, hey, you're having to pay both of these things at once. I get nothing that doesn't get mentioned at all. You would just think I just decided to get up and stop paying stuff just because I felt like it. People just, I'm done with them. No truths to be found. Lie after lie after lie. Let me see what the battery on this thing would be. Damn, that's how dark it is if I take this away. That's my only ray of light. Let me just quickly see what they're doing on that server. Go back to the circus. They really said this to you. It sounds very dismissive and selectively mention other factors, the actual cause. But dude, also you should understand that like California is known for the expensive rent of a lot of these apartments, like these little small tiny apartments. So any idea of like living in your car or your van or whatever, that is something people are doing so that they can actually have money to, afford basic expenses like food and gas and whatnot. So they try to frame it like when they say nobody in their right mind wants to sleep in their car or buy a van to sleep in. Well, nobody in their right mind wants to have their whole damn money they earn from the month go to one thing. But that's why I said they don't they pick and choose what pieces to respond to. They don't They do that on purpose. They're just so dishonest. Damn, these people sit in these things all night long. I hope you have a good day then. Yeah, I met somebody else from the UK this week. Also, Megumi, I decided I'm just going to ask you this stuff because I don't know how long it's going to. See, the problem is this week has been really unstable for me. I didn't get internet until um, Thursday, right, 4th of July. And for that reason, I'm not sure of how long it's going to take to make that Discord video. So I'll just like give you hints of certain stuff. Getting drained of your funds by the bank and the relative. Yeah, they're double teaming me. The bank is Sandman, and then the relative is Venom, and I'm like getting hit by both of them. And there's no new goblin in sight to help me out. Uh, you having to put up with their nonsense for so long is crazy. Well, I told you I live in the Twilight Zone. Everything is backwards. So, Megumi, I wanted to ask you: do you think if, like, let's say you meet some woman and you've only been talking to her for a week, right? And you haven't heard from her in a few days. But like during that week, during that conversation you had with her the previous week, she was you were telling her about your mom and your dad and your sisters, and you were like really pouring yourself out to her. You just revealed all this stuff. You even sent her some damn pictures of yourself. Do you think if this woman, after she hadn't spoken to you for several days, said that you missed her, that you would block her? I'd love to know. Do you think if a woman who you metaphorically poured your personal information right into the lap of a week earlier admitted that she missed you because she hadn't heard from you in a few days, that you would block her? I'd love to know. I'd love for you to answer that question for me. It's not a trick question. I just want to know. I'm very curious because I'm discovering more and more that people are so damn unstable, and they use these like features like candy. Like they get off on just, oh, this person wants to talk to me. Can't let that happen. And I'm telling you, you can write the most mundane message. You could just say, "Hey, how you doing?" And somebody will take it the wrong way. I would really have I wouldn't really have any reason to do something like that. So look, I told you about, you probably remember, like during the Discord adventure stream, I mentioned that there was this woman that I was like having this conversation with where she revealed stuff about her mom and her dad and her little brother. And she even sent me pictures of her and her little brother at various points. Um, because what happened was that we had been in this VC together for several hours, and I left. And to my surprise, she actually noticed that I left and started like asking me about, the thing that caused me to leave. Yeah, I figured you were saying wouldn't. I don't know. I think you and I are similar to some degree. But after I left this call, she started like asking me stuff. I started talking to her. She was revealing things about herself. I in turn, and it was one of the most interpersonal conversations I've had all year. And so I thought, hey, maybe I've actually met somebody I can talk to about things. This is kind of nice. And the next time I saw her was a few days later, or I guess a day later, and she didn't really seem that interested. And I was like, okay, maybe she's just busy playing her game. Then I don't hear from her for a few days after that, and I'm like, okay, whatever, probably just busy with real life stuff. And I write her this poem, and I'm like, okay, if she doesn't respond to this, I'm done. I'm not going to bother you anymore. And after I write the poem, I say, I've been missing you. It's like, we just met. I was like, I know, but I thought we had a good time talking, and we never got to have that one-on-one VC that we agreed to. Oh, I joined the server VC. And then right after I said, yeah, but we were supposed to have a one-on-one as well, blocked me. And you know what, man? The plot thickens because I had a saying. I said when that block button was hit, that video was greenlit. I wasn't even thinking of like. I thought I was gonna just do some streams about like the weird chicks on there. She will be, if I do that video, she will be the main character of it. We're gonna have all the screenshots with her. I'm gonna show a big chunk of the chat log. Um, she's actually changed her avatar like 5 or 6 times, so it's gonna kind of look a little weird because she just keeps changing it over and over. I've taken screenshots at various points, but that will be the main one that gets talked about. Now, and like for most of it, I'll be laughing and grinning and giggling. That one is going to be the one that actually be kind of serious and point out that she's probably pissed me off more than any online woman since Miss Revolving Door last year. But I was going to say the plot thickens because after that happened, I was in a call with her maybe like 2, 3 days later, and she mentioned, hey, if you block somebody because you're having relationship issues and they keep pestering you, isn't it valid to be sick of them? And I thought she was talking about me. I was like, and I said, like, she is such a liar. And I did like an impression of her voice. And she's like, I wasn't talking about you. I was like, yes, you were. Because, I mean, that's what she did to me. So she unblocks me. And then with the caption, since you think everything is about you, sends me a screenshot of the person that she actually blocked. And I just, I'm going to point this out in the video. The other person she blocked besides me, the one that she was talking about on, I think it was like another website, that person cursed her out, like actually was like cursing at her. And I was like, isn't it crazy? Like, I know they talk about the I words and the nice guys and the rest, but it's like, Megumi, you don't think it's kind of interesting that I can just say I miss her. I can in every interaction be nice, be calm, no insulting terms are ever used, and I will be given the same result as the person that was calling her an A word and well, an A word with a word at the end of it that rhymes with uh, toll, and I'm not supposed to look at that and say it's kind of crazy that you block so many people over pretty much any response they would give you that. Uh, but anyways, that the exchange we have after that is the one where she like fully said, "Yeah, you were blocked because you said you missed me," and she said that me saying that was highly inappropriate. And look, man, I'm telling you, if I had to make a list of all the inappropriate things I could say to a woman, all the things I could say that would make a woman uncomfortable, like just disgusting things, right? Saying I missed her wouldn't even be in like the top 1,000. I mean, it's such. I just view it as such a harmless phrase, like a harmless thing to say to somebody that you felt a genuine rapport with. And she kept saying, you know, we just met, right? You know, we just met, right? It's like, but look at all the stuff you told me about yourself. She said, you realize it's highly inappropriate to say you miss me when I'm in a relationship. It's like, what does me saying I miss you do to jeopardize your romance? Is your boyfriend going through your DMs and going to say, this man says he misses you, we will break up right away? I mean, it's idiotic. It's literal buffoonery. And that's why she's getting put in that video. And it's not going to be like most times where it's just screenshots either. I'm going to leave that at that. Because, man, if you need to hear some of the things they say to me, the way they talk to me. I still remember, oh yeah, I'll come to your country. Let's go. I'll give you a tour. Yeah, I thought that was very strange of her to really blow up like that. Holy cow, really? What the hell is that? Especially when she relays as much personal information about herself to you. And look, man, I'm telling you, on that account, there are only 2 people who have seen my actual face. The lady from the UK, I think I mentioned her before. That's like the one lady that I do feel. I'll put, like I'd said before, that's one I probably like the most of any of them because like she actually works and she's not involved with any of this stupid server stuff. And I truly believe that if this were a few years ago, if she didn't have a boyfriend and if she were slightly more attractive to me and physically, I probably would be tempted to, make some kind of a move towards her because I that's how much I enjoy speaking to her. But the that one showed me what she looked like, and I was like, well, I guess you have to see me as well. And this other one when she sent the picture of her face with the because she has some kind of like eye problems or whatever. I was like, well, I guess I have to show you what I look like. Man, it's I'm not even joking. The way she was so interested last like the not like 2 weeks ago versus last week, it's like two different people. Like I'm not kidding. She was responding so quick. Anything you asked her, she answered. She was like, "Hey, I want to you want to stay up with me tonight?" Like, "Oh yeah, sure." It doesn't feel like and I know it's the same person because I heard her voice again, ignoring me uh over the last, week or so, but I'm not going to get over this one as easily as the rest of them. Like there's other stupid ones, but that one really bothers me. Honeymoon period phase. And Megumi, you'll love this. So I don't know if you've ever like ran a farm or anything, but sometimes what people who run farms notice is like you take out a crop and another one like springs up in its place. What if I told you that you can just be in a server and you'll have some woman that just blows up on you and you're done speaking to her, right? Either because she wanted to blow up on you and get you out of there, or you just got sick of her. And it's like one of them will sprout up in the place of the other one. Like, I'm gonna just say this. There's another one I met as recently as last night that same thing started revealing a bunch of stuff about herself. And I don't think it's fair to judge this person based off of what somebody else did, but I'm not gonna hold my breath if I wake up, next week, a month from now, and I'm blocked because I don't know, I said I like them or something. I'm just saying that's crazy how like th- this one blocks you, and then within a week you meet somebody else, and it's like the parallels, man, revealing stuff about themselves, you know, telling you about this, that, and the other. I mean, I'm just saying, it's like when you get when like I think I mentioned this to you before. The week I stopped, like Miss Revolving Door sent that stupid message, he's my boyfriend and I'm gonna choose him. I'm sorry. The week that she sent that message to me was when I started working for the job that I have now, which would ultimately lead me to meet the mixed signals queen herself. I saw her yesterday. She was looking so pretty with her little bun. You know how these chicks do, they have a little bun of hair like that. I realized I actually never told you this, and I've mentioned pretty much 99% of the weird stuff that happens with her. One of the managers is beefing with her. Um, what happened is that about 2 months ago, because I mentioned that she likes to not come to work all the time, right? Like just call out sick or, you know, whatever other little things she likes to do. And I also mentioned that she's not a call person and how insane it is that like anyone in this era would tell you, hey, you can have my number, but you can't call me ever. Just how weird that was. Um, Apparently, within the last like 2 months, one of the female managers called her, like her phone number, right? And she didn't pick up. And then the manager called her from a block number and she answered. And this pissed the manager off so much that she said, you stupid A word. And man, like I've seen that manager get angry before and like curse, and I'm just when I imagine it, it's hilarious to me. Imagine beefing with the manager because you're like too stupid to just pick up your phone when somebody calls you. Well, it feels good because I'm telling you that night when she, did her report thing, you could tell she's never apparently had somebody make fun of her before. And I was like, do the face, do the face. She found me amusing for a while, but the one thing she loved more than a friend was to see a friend fall. You could tell she never had somebody just like mock all her little weird characteristics. So I'm sure when that manager that it really stung. And I know that manager doesn't like her because I remember that one of the days where she called out sick, she was like, "So she's not going to get a point, or like demerit or whatever. She's not going to get in trouble." Oh, by the way, Megumi, would you believe me if I told you that there is because this stuff never ends. Those 9 lives of hers need to run out. I'm telling you, I'm so sick of her, man. Like I don't mention her as often because there's not much to report, and I've just been dealing with all these Discord dingbats. But I'd love for her to just vanish out of my life. I've said she's like a roach. She just keeps coming back, no matter how many times she doesn't come to work, or how many times she calls out sick, how many times she comes late. They just won't cut the umbilical cord. It drives me crazy. But I was going to tell you that would you believe me if I said there was a woman who said she really liked my voice, and her solution to liking my voice was to like unfriend me, like make it to where I can't speak to her anymore, or just like, do something where it's like, yeah, we're not going to talk anymore, like signal that. And then when confronted over this, she reveals that she doesn't want to hear my voice again because she thinks it will make her cheat on her partner. I know you think I'm making this up. I already can tell. See, this is why I said I feel like I'm in some combination of the Twilight Zone slash purgatory. I mean, and look, if you don't believe me, screenshots exist for a reason. Because I didn't even think I had this amazing, great voice or anything, but like the only reason she's not going to be in that video is because she hasn't. I guess I'm just waiting to see what she does. But trust me, if she gets to acting out of line and doing the whole crazy thing, then she can be in the sequel. I don't even want to mention all of the like. Well, I'll bring up one aspect of it. So like I told you that one of the reasons I don't like dealing with a lot of these modern chicks is that it seems like you can't do anything with them without there being some kind of like erotic subtext. Like you could be completely uninterested or disinterested in dating them, right? But they have this thing where it's almost as if in their minds you're more than, like, I guess I'll put it this way, like that you're not this person's partner, but like they say things and write things and type things and do things that are indicative of someone that wants more or is like pushing. I'll give you an example. I was talking to her and I mentioned the one that, eventually would end up blocking me for saying that I missed her. And I was saying, she's online and every time I see that red circle just staring at me, it drives me a little nuts. And she's like, go talk to her then. And I'm like, what are you mad about? I'm not, but I don't want to be a second choice while you're chasing after that B word. I'm like, I'm not chasing after anything. But you get where that doesn't sound like something a friend would say about, like, if me and a guy, for example, are talking to each other, I'm like, oh, this other guy's online. You're not going to see the other guy say, oh, you notice he's online? We'll go talk to him then. She was asking me about her picture. I was like, I didn't even see what she looked like other than like close up of her face. What was the face beautiful? This is how I came up with the conclusion that a lot of chicks seem to feel more comfortable and inclined to talk to than a oh, absolutely. But you get what I'm saying of how there's like this erotic subtext, like that interaction sound does not sound like, oh, these two friends are talking and oh, it's this other person's friend is online. No, it sounds like you're speaking to your girlfriend and she's upset that you're talking about noticing some other woman being, online as well. Go talk to her then. I'm telling you, everything has this erotic subtext. Like it's not even these people, man. I really hope she doesn't do anything out of line because I would hate to have to put her in a video. People won't even believe that they'll think I made another account just to write weird stuff to myself, just from how insane it's been. Hey, this other person is online. Go talk to her then. Yeah, it's just the way they feel out of your control. Erotic subtext. At one point, she also asked me to moan, which I didn't do because again, I was like, "You're dating another man. Why would you want to hear me do that?" Peace only comes from hearing your voice. I'm telling you, I'm so happy. The one good thing that came out of this past week of like not having internet was that Discord woman thing did slow down because from the 15th of last month up until I guess it was like the 27th, 28th, it was like like they were just coming out systematically each day and doing something weird or I'm not even kidding. It's like like the same day that the one girl unfriends me over my voice being so appealing to her was one day before the other one blocked me for saying that I missed her. And then that was like the day before. I think that yeah, that was the day before this thing happened over here. But it does show the activities they like to engage themselves in with other random guys, even though they are with someone. Well, I tell you that like a lot of these relationships are paper thin. People say they're with another person and maybe they like the person to some degree more than other people, but when they're by themselves, sitting on the computer in private calls with these guys, they don't, it's whatever, man. You should also see how many times I've had chicks try to like anytime I mention, look, I'm done. I'm not asking any more of you out. I'm not trying to become any of your boyfriends. Uh those ambitions have long since faded away. They love doing the whole, well, I thought for a time that, oh, but I said, just stop. Like, I like the one from the UK, but when she was like, oh, well, I had the same partner for 7 years and I thought it was over. I was like, lady, please don't, like, I like you, but please don't start singing that song. We've been through this for years. Come on. They tend to lash out as well. And why do they put themselves in these situations anyway when they're with someone? Because they like the attention. She gets to sit there with me for a whole hour. Oh yeah, I know what you mean. No, it's like I'll just casually mention, look, I have no more ambitions to try and court some woman to get a date. I have no like that's done. That's over. And like they actually sit there and try to argue me down about it. Oh, well, you're only this age and sometimes the bad things happen. It's like look, I guess I appreciate in its most abstract sense the sentiment, but I don't need someone telling me to keep. I mean, come on, this is dumb. Like you don't know me, you don't know what I've been through, and if you did, it wouldn't be hard for an objective person to see why I would just be like, yeah, this is stupid. It's not going anywhere. Dude, you can't even get your own damn family to care about you, let alone some random woman. Like, come on. To me, that's the funniest thing. You can't even get your own family to care about you, but some woman online or in. Oh, and my favorite part is that there was a guy in one of the servers I was in, and he's like known as a jerk or whatever. He's also like lives in the same state as me. Um, so I was mentioning like the thing with the one that blocked me for saying hi to her, and he was like, "Well, you're really getting upset over some computer woman. I mean, you can't take those seriously. Like the problem is you can't take real life ones seriously either. Well, you can take them a little bit more seriously. Like no, 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 no." And then he acknowledged that like the coworker thing was a legitimate grievance, but he was like, "Well, there's like this pattern of you having problems with women," and I'm like, "Well, hell, I mean." So if you have any issues with chicks, it's automatic. Like if it happens more than once, it's automatically your fault. We just to hell with nuance, dealt with what actually happened. And my favorite part is when I started talking about how stupid what she did was, and he was like, "Oh, you sound like an I word." I was like, "Okay, we can never criticize women for anything ever. Got it." Already, this guy is sounding goofy to me. Well, it's funny because he got into an argument with this lady that is a stay at home wife, and he called the guys defending her a word that rhymes with wimps that starts with an S, right? And I said, how is it that you're like you insult the guys that defend the woman, but then you also insult the guy that criticizes them? So what side are we supposed to be taking here? Just say nothing, have no problem with anything they do. He is goofy, and that's one of the reasons why I don't take anything he says seriously. But I'm just saying to you that like it's sad that they don't want to consider the fact that you're really displeased by the idea that you would convey all this personal stuff to some woman, right? And then she would just like throw you off a bridge. Like they just get hyper focused on, but it's online, though. It's online. It's online. It's online. It's like that's not the point. Don't worry, we have a nice clip to illustrate our grievances with that like tunnel vision. Because you're a guy. That's why you can't say anything that isn't metaphorically kissing their behind. I told them, okay, I won't criticize them ever again. They're perfect and they're all so amazing and they are above. They're like gods among men. They can't be rebuked in any way. Let's just turn our brains off and bow down to the terrific triangle. And dude, that's what drives me crazy. Like they throw these stupid terms around, but a lot of these chicks, they're so receptive at one. Remember that you said the honeymoon period earlier, right? Like they will sit there and just talk to you time after time, hour after hour. Like I'm trying to think how many of them have either sat in a DM call with me for an hour or longer, or it's got to be like since I started, it's got to be at least 3 or 4. Because even with the one that like blocked me. The week before that, she was all ready to go and speak to me one on one until it was like 4 or 5 in the morning for me, and she had been up all day, and we both got tired. Yeah, I've experienced that many times. Next day, I get greeted by a block message when attempting to message them. They turn on you. So, I told you about the one that had me read that stupid PowerPoint for her, directed towards her boyfriend, and you know, I thought she would like speaking to me after that, but I got blocked within 24 hours for making fun of her dumb username. How many girls are you texting? I said two. I just thought it was weird. Like, why do you need to know that? I already said before, it's crazy because it's like I'll just be in a call with one of them and I'll be talking. Maybe they talk, whatever. I might send them like a message, hey, how you doing? Whatever. And then it just goes from there. Like some of them just start revealing and revealing and but I'm telling you, I don't have like some secret thing where I'm like, I see woman in that call will make her part of my harem. Like it does not go that way at all. Many times I just speak to the person one on one in writing, and then in more rare cases they'll talk to me and either some group conversation or solo. Some of them aren't as receptive to it, but I just think it's interesting how like it's just not genuine anymore. Well, I told you that the thing with that with the you can't take it seriously. No, you can't. You saw what happened with Miss Revolving Door. It's like this lady apologizes must be 3, 4, 5 damn times for ignoring me. But then every time she apologizes, she keeps the same stupid behavior up. What's it looking like now? Damn, it's like my phone merged with the screen. Look at how dark it is if I don't have the phone as the light. God, these people just sit in here all night long. They are. I guess I'm glad I do my stream because if I didn't, I probably would still be in there. Either that or trying to watch something to go to sleep to. But yeah, man, this situation with the job and this family thing, and I mean, I feel like some days you just get it from all sides. Like the same afternoon, literally this afternoon was kickstarted with this text yesterday, right? Kickstarted with a text message. I see you are over there. Pick up your belongings from this relative. And then like 2, 3 hours later, you go to your job, you see the crazy, insane lady that would rather get a ladder to go and pick some stuff up instead of just asking you for it because she despises you so much that she couldn't even be bothered to just ask you to do something that she knows you're going to do because you're trying to act professional. Um, and then it's like you get back here, maybe you talk to somebody on there for like a little while, but I'm telling you, man, some days I feel like I just have all these things just tugging at me. I'm like, damn, it's just oh my God. And of course, my favorite part was when that lamp I ordered, got delayed for the second time. I was like, yeah, not my day. They have all these terms toward one side, the other side is completely squeaky clean, can't do no wrong. And it's like I tell you, the crazy part is chicks criticize men left and right, and nobody tells them they're involuntarily alone or whatever. It's just so stupid, dude. Like, People really do the internet equivalent of like sticking their fingers and they're just going, no, 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 no. That's them. Like they don't care about actually like saying something that makes sense or addresses a problem or anything. Just stick their fingers in their ears, ignore what's actually being said, and that'll be it. Oh, Megumi, do you remember that Spider-Man picture? The so either way, I just can't win. I want to bring that back because it's timely, it's topical for the period. Like you see all the dumb comments. Why are you wearing gloves? And then I remember when they would make comments about my hands and talk about how mottled and vain they were. Oh man, I'm just, like some stuff you just can't win on. You just all right, well, whatever. I guess this is my fate. I definitely remember that picture. It'll be very relatable. That's really how I feel. Like you pay all this money for 6 months, and then only after you leave, suddenly everything starts speeding up. Interesting. I'm telling you, these chicks, they're giving me all my catchphrases now. I'm not a call person. I'll let you know. And then, we got the other one. It was highly inappropriate for you to say that knowing I'm in a relationship. I'm like, what? By the way, actually, I just realized I have proof that she was talking trash about the guy she's with. Women, women, women. They will send me to my grave. Yeah, I have let me see. Give me a second because I can't use my phone right now because I'm using it for the lights. So let me give me a second to like log in. Mm. Oh, I'm logged into the other account. Okay, so there's a like I can't look at it right now because I'm logged into one account on my browser and another account on the other Discord, and I'm like worried if I open it, it's gonna pop me back into this VC I was in. But there's a message from her where she was talking about like the guy wasn't understanding of her feelings or something, like the guy that she's currently with. So yeah, I could put that in there. Let me see if I can grab this. Damn, I look like a super villain in this lighting. uh she keeps changing her name, so it's a little bit harder to pull stuff up. But I did find it funny that she unblocked me just to argue with me like about being blocked. Like I was surprised by that. I thought she was just gonna ignore my mess, me making the comments about she is such a liar, and then wow. Dude, I'm so this is like the one of the few times where I'd be so tempted to show one of their pictures because it's like, why would you send me this if you're gonna block me in a week? Yeah, because they actually welcome drama. Oh, they thrive. There's an old. I don't know if it's the original Funimation dub, but I remember Piccolo is like talking to Goku, and he's like, Gohan's not like you. He doesn't crave mayhem. These chicks crave mayhem. They like the drama. They like to have problems with people. Uh, they like to argue with someone. Oh, here it is. I found it. Oh, let me turn the light off on here. Um, Okay, I wrote, not really, no. I have some side quests to run the day before going to work. She writes, good luck with those. I think I'm going to get broken up with. So, well, I'm sorry about that. Do you want to talk about it? She writes, "Not much to talk about. I just think that person fell out of love for me or just not emotionally available. I feel very neglected and forgotten. I think he knows that, but he's too emotionally to try for me." I said, "I wish he had treated." I wrote, "I wish he had treated you better. Did he cheat on you too?" She goes, "No, he never did. At least I hope not." Well, and I said, "Well, that at least makes him better than the last guy. So there's a little bit of progress." And then I asked her if she's busy the next like Saturday, trying to set up a call with her, and that ended badly. But yeah, that was her talking about her man, her current man, that he's emotionally unavailable. Her and her broken English. That is in the script for the video where I'm like, because she mentioned that she kept getting cheated on by like her boyfriends. I said in the video, I hope she keeps getting cheated on. Told you I'm a sore loser. You treat me badly, it's scorched earth time. But yet she is still with him regardless. Well, you know, these chicks are they. It's I mean, it's like they just have this prerequisite that they must date someone, even if they don't like the person, talk trash about them. So that doesn't surprise me. He's not emotionally available, but I'm going to stay with him anyway. And I tell you, the sad part is whether you're talking about her, you know, the mixed signals queen, Miss Revolving Door. I didn't want to date any of these girls. Like, I would have been completely fine if I'm not even kidding. Like, perfect world, right? You go see a movie with mixed signals queen. Of course, I would never. I would rather vomit than do that now. But like, back in January, I thought that would have been fun. Could have been enjoyable. And you meet the goofy one that blocked me, and we actually get to talk and have these exchanges about our back. Like, dude, I'm not even kidding. I know more things about her than I think any of the computer, like any of the chicks that I've spoken with in like the last year, at least. But like between the online ones and some of the ones I know, like most of the ones I know in real, because I'm not really friends with a lot of these chicks in real life. This is probably the one I would say I know the most about. And that's why it was so bizarre. Like, it's her and that UK one that I was that told me like the most stuff about themselves. Yeah, I totally get you. Imagine. I'm telling you, dude, like I never thought it would be this hard to just be friends with a woman. Like, damn. And it always gets screwed up or has some kind of weird romantic thing with it. Like the girl from last year. My boyfriend thinks we're cheating together even though you live on the other side of the country from me. The mixed signals queen. We're going as friends, right? And then this one. You realize it's highly inappropriate to write that to me when I'm in a relationship. And by the way, the last thing that was written before she apparently blocked me, I don't know if she blocked me again because I didn't try to send her anything else, was, "Do you want me to apologize?" Because that's how badly I just wanted this to be over. Like, I'm not trying to have these back and forth fights with people who, if you don't like talking to me, then don't talk to me. Let's not like sit here and have some kind of like melee contest in on a keyboard. Like, actually speak to me. The ones that live furthest from you is the most willing or are wanting to talk. The close ones are most likely to be toxic towards you. Dude, there's literally a girl at my job. I'm not joking. Yesterday, this is what she did. She waved at me like this because she always says hello to me, right? And then I see her outside and she says, "Get the expletive away from me." I'm not kidding. And I start to like back up from the table she's sitting at. And then she's like, "Hey, do you drive?" I'm like, "Yeah." And then she starts telling me about she's afraid to drive because she doesn't pay attention, etc. And I'm like, how crazy is it that someone can tell you to get away from them, and then when you're like, okay, I guess I'll just get whatever. Oh, I told this one relative about this. He said that because I think I mentioned that there was like some girl that also did the same thing, that with like the whole like flipping back and forth or whatever. He said that he thinks she has a crush on me, always saying hi to me and like nervous to speak to me or like trying to insult me to get away. I don't believe that, but it's just I thought it was fun because it's like it's so weird to always try to say hi to someone and wave at them, and then when they're actually like trying to speak to you, get away from me. Like, all right, whatever. Hey, do you drive? I know this stuff sounds made up. I pledge to you, it is not. This online stuff most certainly isn't made up. I have so much proof on them, it's not even funny. These people I've been getting screenshotted left and right. She changed her personality and changed it again. That's why I said you can't trust any of them. They go from liking you to disliking you very rapidly. It's like two or three different people wrapped in one. Mm. Man, today is going to be so drama filled, I tell you. I have to go over that house again to sign some papers. Let me see. Cycle through various personalities. Well, I told you that's why the one that did the blocking got under my skin so much because I really thought after that conversation we had that she liked me, that she wanted to talk to me. Um, like I felt, as stupid as I sound for saying this, I felt like there was a little bit of a connection. I'll admit that. But like I said, every time you open up that window, thinking somebody likes you, thinking this might be a brand new chance for one of them to finally do something that's not stupid, every time. You know, I'm kidding. Only two of these Discord women have seen my face. Her and that other one, that one from the UK. It's not common for me to just pull off my mask and out myself, and it's like, God, that was a betrayal. And I only do it after they do it, so it's not like I'm just sending them stuff to send them stuff. Oh, by the way, Megumi, Jem was laughing on 4th of July because I was telling him about how with the mixed signals queen, it was him, this guy on Discord, and then one of my relatives who warned me that she was going to report me before she actually did it. And I was like, she's not going to do that because we had a falling out before. We're both adults. And when she reported me, when I got that call that Friday, I ended up looking like the biggest liar and fool in the history of the state of California because I said she wouldn't do it, and then she said it, which then she did it, which made me look like a liar, right? For saying that she wouldn't do it, and a fool for trusting her over them. So, Bagumi, if you ever, because sometimes like people from the UK write books about Americans. If you ever want to write a book about me or make a video about me, it should be called "The Biggest Liar and Fool in the History of the State of California." That should be the title. I was the dumbest person who ever lived after that. At least in this state. You have 40 million people here. I'm the stupidest one for trusting her. I said she wouldn't report me, and I was wrong. So again, if you ever get mad and want to make a video on me, a stream, or write a book about me, it should be called "The Biggest Liar and Fool in the History of the State of California." There's never been a dumber person or bigger liar in this state than me. That's why I ended up looking like after dealing with her. She defied all my expectations and just, well, you gotta understand, man. I've worked multiple different jobs and I've never had women reporting me there. That's never happened prior. With most of them, I say hi, bye. Some of them tell me stuff about themselves. I know that girl, the one that was like in the speed obsession video, right? I know, remember that stream. She was telling me about how she has two kids and I have the same first name as, I think it was her like ex-husband's brother or something or whatever the hell. And it's like, I don't get into that personal stuff with them. I listen to it, right? It's okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But, I'm just like on autopilot when they're talking in that way because I'm ready to do a job. We're not friends. And I kept my distance from her after the "you should be done." But it's like, these people really just have surprised me with how they can take anything and spin it as you're doing this to me at this job anyway. Tell you about the girl trying to report the guy for calling her a leprechaun. It's like, girl, you're 5'1", 5 feet. You're short. And I don't think it's fair that you get made fun of for your height, but I mean, it's just stupid, man. People get so angry and ready to destroy someone over the dumbest stuff. Mm. Damn kidding. Today is Judgment Day. It's like I'm after I get back, I'm gonna watch Terminator 2 because that's what I feel like I'm in. Like, I gotta go over this house and see a person I haven't seen in a week because they wanted to sit there and try to squeeze money out of me and sign some papers, and then they're probably gonna say something about get your stuff or some other like threat. It's gonna be a hard day, man. Trying to report someone on that is like being back in school. Well, I told you, I feel like I'm in preschool again or high school. All this gossip and this person said this person did that. I heard that you like this. They are a literal preschool. And it makes sense. There's a lot of like younger people that work there, but I just so yeah, I can't take any. I don't trust any of them after that thing with her. She completely eroded my confidence in these people. When she made that report, it was like dropping a nuclear weapon. Don't you guys have like a briefing before you start work? Address stuff that shouldn't be tolerated in the workplace. They have those, but the problem is people break them. I mean, they tell you not to hug coworkers, and I see them hugging each other all the time. And that's why I told you that it's interesting how some of these people get along really, really well, but if depending on who you are and what your race is, uh, they tend to not be as displaying with open arms as I should say, not as like welcoming. And I don't think it's a coincidence that they're that way. Yeah, I just kind of got sick of the whole thing, really. I mean, this whole week has just been so chaotic and like I can't believe you would go away. It's like, yeah, I left because you're charging too much damn money. You are mean to everyone, to yourself and everyone else. It's like, what does that even mean? Megumi, when I read that particular line of that paragraph of lies, I couldn't uh, I couldn't help but think of the one relative that I took, and I didn't feel good that particular Saturday, uh, to the hospital and sat with for 6 hours. I thought about the other one that got picked up multiple times by me throughout the week. And I thought about my friend who I was helping when they were without a car to go to work so they wouldn't have to spend all their money on stupid Uber rides. And all I can say is I really despise these bastards. I do. Because it doesn't matter what you actually do. When they get an idea of you, they just stick to it. And it doesn't matter what evidence comes out, what you do that's contradicting of what they're claiming. They just because it's like you're being used. You are being used. I told you all this stuff about personality. You're mean. It's all just smoke and mirrors. The true issue here is that they didn't get their several hundreds of dollars this month, so they're having a temper tantrum over it. If I gave them 300 in the past week, I could be as mean as I want it to be. As long as they get their green pieces of paper, that's all that they care about. All this other stuff is just window dressing. You're so mean. Okay. Oh man, I'm just thinking about these this whole situation has just been nuts. I'm serious. Between June 15th and like the 26th or 27th, it really did seem as if on a daily basis there was either a new crazy woman or one of them was doing something weird, and like you couldn't go 24 hours without one of them exploding or acting weird or crazy. It's I had overload. I had to turn the damn app off. They have this one girl on there that kept acting like she wanted to talk to me. Well, I'm never gonna get in her. She's another liar. Nobody can ever say they don't want to talk to someone. They just have to string them along. They really like snapping at you. Dude, if you saw the girl's like username, the one that blocked me after I read that PowerPoint about her boyfriend, uh, you would get why I was surprised that she did it because the name is stupid. Everybody was making fun of it. In life, you find some people like you and some don't. No matter what you do for them, do you stop interacting with them when you find out they're like this? Well, yeah, usually. I mean, I joined that one VC like, I admittedly to mess with the chick that blocked me because I'm like, oh, you're not about to sit in the call with me for no 2, 3 hours and just, I'm not going to make any references to what you did. I wasn't talking about you. Yes, you were. You should have seen my face when I clicked the messages and I saw that red, like the little typing feature, right? When someone's typing, I was like, wait, she has me blocked. How is she typing something to me? What's this? I was so confused. Like, I thought we were done. Because I didn't even Megumi, I thought she like when I joined the call and I said my thing about like, it took a while for me to say like, oh, she's such a liar. I thought she had me muted too. So I was like, oh, she heard me. Yeah, I made one comment that wasn't even I don't even like just one sentence, maybe two things I said, and that was enough for her to start typing away. Do you find women are more pleasant in person than online? I find it's much easier in person. Oh no, after that thing with that coworker, literally I only came back to Discord because I was trying to like wipe away the filth of what that other one did. I used to think, hey, you meet somebody in real life. I mean, there's got to be at least a little bit of humanity, but I was wrong. She proved me to not know what I was talking about. When people are willing to try to sit by you and then get and then attempt to get you fired in less than 24 hours, that's not normal. And as bad as these computer girls are, not none of them have tried to actually destroy me, like try to mess up my income or what. And they don't do that. They'll really go through so much lengths to engage in an argument with someone or cause drama, even when it really isn't necessary at all. You should have seen my face when I looked on my messages on the part with her and it had like the red thing like typing. Like, how is she typing something to me if I'm blocked? And man, I'm telling you, all it took was 2 sentences. I said, "She is such a liar," and I made like a mimic of her voice, and that was enough for her to unblock me and then start typing away. This is her. I wasn't talking about you. I don't know who else you were talking about then. It sure sounded like me. I mean, hey, you can count on them to respond to you if you say anything that may offend them. Oh yeah, you get more attention if you say something mean. If you say, "Hey, how you doing?" They ignore you, right? How are you? But if you say, "You're awful," uh, when you write something to me, I start groaning. I think you know you'll get a reply. I didn't get to say this, but like when I told I think I might have mentioned it on what was that last Sunday, I think Sunday before this past one, where I told my friend I was gonna like rejoin Discord to try and meeting some people, and he remembered how it went for me the last time, and he was like, "Hey, good luck. If you see anything different, it'll be the most amazing thing ever." I just keep that line keeps repeating in my head as like we get all these different chicks blocking me and unfriending me and ignoring me. I'm like, yeah, he wasn't lying. It really would be like you if I met several of them that acted decent, I would probably do a video just with my mouth like the whole time because I'm just in shock that they're actually acting like people. Every time they block me or they unfriend me, I keep in my mind, it'll be the most amazing thing ever. Like this Herculean task just to get a few of them to talk to you and not be stupid. Megumi, you want to meet a woman that actually seems to like speaking to you and talking to you? It'll be the most amazing thing ever. Imagine if you just got one to be civilized and having a genuine dialogue with. Well, so far, the UK one has been that one. I mean, have frequent conversations when you get off work. Okay, um, the only part of that she hasn't fulfilled is that she's not around as much as the other ones, which might be part of why we've been getting along. We don't hear that much from each other compared to the rest of them, where they're just on there all day long. Um, but you know, we've had about 5 hours worth of calls for at this point. I enjoyed speaking to her. That's always subject to change if she decides to, you know, do the she by the way, she told me that I'm the only person she talks to on there anymore because all the other guys were asking her for pictures of herself or some other like you know, romantic weird stuff. And I always say like I'm even back when I wanted to like meet a woman online, I still didn't ask for any damn photos. I was so uncomfortable with the notion of like, hey, can you send me what you look like? Well, dude, we've been here before. Oh, trust me, when the one that what do you call it did the PowerPoint thing, I was like, oh, she spoke to me and then blocked me. Wow, never seen that before. I think you remember this is like several years back. There was some girl I was like talking to in a VC for I think 3, 4, 5 hours, and like she accepted my friend request and later on that same day blocked me. Like just this is just what they do. They just flip on you. They turn. They switch. But it's funny with her. She uses that block button like, oh yeah, of course, tread carefully. I'm with with uh with it's very inappropriate. She uses that block button like candy. That's why I thought she was talking about me when she mentioned the other guy because she just was blocking everybody. They just keep flipping and switching and changing up. Like, pick a damn side. If you like me, you like me. If you don't like me, you don't like me. But Jesus Christ, like, reach a conclusion already. That block button, man. That's their most powerful feature. Overused, dude. And you know what like drives me crazy? When I think of like using it, right? It has to be someone that keeps bothering me. That's met. You can get blocked for just saying you miss somebody. Like theoretically, she could have never responded to me after I sent the poem, and I probably wouldn't have written her anything else because I'm like, okay, she doesn't want to talk to me. Because there are some where I just don't write them anything else because I caught on like, yeah, you don't want to talk to me. But it's like they need to make sure you don't even have the possibility of talking to them ever again. Like, damn, you know? So much hatred. Nah, Megumi, if I survive today, I'll definitely stream on Monday. Well, I think I will anyway. Yeah, I gotta look at my schedule again. That is the one thing I have liked about this week. Being able to just sit somewhere and have no one come in on you is nice. I'd like to attend more of your streams. What's your thought on? Oh, I haven't seen it yet. The interview with George. But no, I was saying that the one good thing about this week has been being alone. Like it is so nice to know that no one's gonna come and wake like knock on my door and burst open like the Kool-Aid guy and wake me up at 6 a.m. It's nice to not get directed to go and pick somebody up and waste 60 miles of gas on some side quest that has nothing to do with you. I mean, on another level, it's nice to just be able to wear whatever. I mean, like you know what I'm saying, just like from the stuff, Magumi, you know what I'm referencing. Just being able to wear whatever you want, not having to worry about, you know, this person might come back at this time. I just like the just some damn privacy for once because I very rarely have ever had that. Like I've always lived with someone else, and most of the time it's been someone that just comes in anytime they want, stays up late, so they're up at all hours of the day. You know, it does feel nice to just, hey, you want to? I wouldn't do this, but like, hey, you want to sleep with nothing on? All right, there you go. Of course, they don't pay you gas money for that side quest. No, and man, like think about this. Um, gas over here on average is costing about $4, right? $4 to like 4.85, like somewhere in the $4 to $5 range, right? So a gallon of gas is 30 miles on average. This means that when you pick this person up for 2 days a week, which is 8 days a month, you have you have spent $40 worth of gas on just picking that person up twice a week. And they don't care. They don't you don't get 1 cent of reimbursement. Just do it for me. And that's why I said when they sit here and talk about somebody being unappreciative, like look at what they do. That's why I said it's all projection. They say one thing and then a lot of what they're saying is actually what they are. Unappreciative. What is there to appreciate? Like, come on. People lie too much. You don't appreciate me. I'm trying to think what else have I not mentioned? Um there's got to be another one that's there. They just throw so much words out without applying them in their proper context. Dude, you would really think I was just like, man, I'm tired of paying a few $100s a month. I'm out of here. I'm gonna go stay somewhere. It's like, no, this was a 6 month saga of pay the bank $700, $800, pay this person 300, or not 200, 300 always, or 400, and then hopefully squeeze out enough pennies to be able to get yourself something to eat or to get some gas to go to your job that is also, not close by either. Like it's crazy, man. Make themselves look good and yeah. But I'm just saying that it drives me nuts that they actually think you did something wrong. Like I'm sitting here reading this garbage that they wrote. You need help. Get you some Medi-Cal and go talk to a therapist or psychiatrist. Like I'm literally just like I'm not even trying to make myself sound like this amazing man. All I do is try to work a job, which I've been able to keep now for 8 months, and attempt to survive based off of the earnings that I get from a job that sometimes gives me 2 days of work a week, 3 days of work a week, 4 days, 5 days. And they're making it sound like I'm out of my mind and there's something like they said the same stupid stuff last year. And that was based on this idea that, there's something wrong with you because you want to get a job, you're lazy, etc. So, like, even when you have the job, there's still something wrong with you. I even said, like, what's the point of working a job if you don't like if all the money you make goes to stuff that you don't get to enjoy? Like, Megumi, next year, you're gonna make $1 million. And then you're like, oh yes, great. But guess what? You're only gonna be able to spend 2,000 of it on things you actually want to buy. All the rest is going to rent and other utilities. And you're like, okay, so what's even the point of having all this damn money if I don't get to do anything with it? Just weird, man. Today I'm going to make $100, but then I'm gonna have to spend 30 on gas, uh, and then also give this other person 20 because they want money from me for some reason. And then I also need about 10 to get something from the place to eat with. Oh, great. There's already most of my check gone. Sounds like a very humble position to be in. You need help. I need help, just not in the way that they claim. I need help in terms of like, hey, can you help me pay for this stuff? Hey, can you help me get a second job so I can pay for this stuff? That's the help I need, not no stupid sitting at a damn chair and have somebody try to like make you feel bad for not wanting to pay all your damn money for something that you get no benefit out of. No, 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 no. Oh, people just lie so much, man. Oh, what else do I say? But like I said, I'm trying to do the Discord video. I've just been dealing with a lot of crazy stuff this week. And I was just thinking of how different things could have been. Like, yeah, if I wasn't getting drained of $1,000 every 3 months without a job, maybe I could have actually fought harder to, have this place. Just a thought. But people destroy everything they touch, and they don't usually have any concern for who ends up laying in the wreckage. I have those chickens outside. Now, some of this stuff you just can't win with. Like, you either stay with this person where you have to pay them hundreds of dollars just to even be there, in addition to all the external cost of like driving that far every week to, do this side quest for them, or you stay alone and then you have to like, if you're there long enough, get your own like oven and stuff and all the rest. Just you pick your. It's a trade off, but I would prefer this simply because you have more space. You already were paying for your own stuff for the most part anyway, and the other person just. I mean, they're just crying over spilled milk. They're angry they didn't get their ransom this week. That's all this is about. That video is going to highlight a lot of crazy stuff. I'm telling you that I really hope that one that said the thing about having the boyfriend and all the. I really, really hope she acts normal. I'd be sad to have to put her in one of these. The stuff with her is so bad it could be a video by itself. Hell, the stuff with her is so bad it could probably be a stream by itself because like the chat logs and the stuff she was saying. Oh man. Favorite part of it that was when she sent me that picture of herself without me. I was like, why are you sending me this? You have a boyfriend. Why do I need to see what? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm misstating what happened. So first she's like, you should talk to my sister. I think she's your type. And I'm like, no, thank you. Uh, and then she sends me a picture that she purports is her sister. I make no comments about it. She gets rid of it. Then she says it was her, which is like, why would you? And I said, why would you send me a photo that you say is of a person I have never spoken to, and then reveal after you sent the photo that it was actually just. What a bizarre group of characters, man. Here's a picture of my sister. Oh no, I was just messing with you. It's actually me. I said to her, do you even have a sister? Like I said, they lie so much, I wouldn't put it past them to make up relatives. They have so many fibs and fables. I could completely believe they would fabricate having a sister, a brother, whatever. Do you like the way my sister looks? I have no opinion. I know it was like a day or two ago. She sent me some picture of her and some video of her and her boyfriend on a swing set. Why does everything you talk about have to include some erotic subtext? Dude, I don't want to talk to her sister. Why? So like, if I have a falling out with the sister, I can get blocked by both of them. They're gonna have like, imagine they're like at a round table and the whole family blocks me, like members I've never even spoken to. They're all on Discord. Well, I tell you, chicks like a lot of modern women genuinely believe that any man that talks to them who's not like related to them, right, wants to date them. Any like you could have never seen what she looks like. She could live hundreds of miles away. If you reach out to a woman, be expecting that she will assume you want to be her boyfriend. It's just a precursor of like a prerequisite, even if they have someone. Oh yeah. I mean, having someone apparently doesn't mean anything. You see this girl with the boyfriend talking about, can you moan for me? And I know she's not making up having a boyfriend. I saw him in the same server, and she was trying to get me to talk to him, and I was like, I'm good. That'll be funny. I stream again later today. I'm like, all right, it's the follow up stream. Let's see how that event occurred today. How that went. They're just so weird. They have like no morals, no ethics. They're always ready to screw someone over. You should talk to my sister. Like, no, thank you. I said, I'm good. She's like, what do you think of the way I look? It's like, oh, you're so beautiful. I have never seen someone so attractive. I said just like that too. So this stuff is a joke to me. Like I don't. They're all like on that circus brigade. It's a real shame that just to be someone's friend, you need to like evaluate their photo and give an assessment of their. It's just so unnecessary to me. But everything about this process has been made convoluted. Megumi, I normally like to go for the usual 3 hours, but I do have a meeting in the afternoon. It's morning right now, so that should give me enough hours to get some sleep. I have had no sleep since yesterday morning, uh, so I am kind of tired. If you have any other comments, thoughts, statements, theories, let me know. Other than that, we can wrap this up. I hope today doesn't go as awful as I think it might. Um, there's definitely a piece of it that I'm dreading, but I'm trying to get through it. I just wish that I had better relatives. I really do. Because there's so much like fighting and siphoning, and all of it is due to money, right? And like I'm just wondering at what point does it end? I guess it never does. I do hope you manage to get through the day. It's gonna be the hardest one I've had since last Thursday. That's for sure. I mean, not well, not this past Thursday, but 2 Thursdays ago. We're gonna have our first face-to-face meeting with the relative, and I'm sure they're gonna say all types of passive aggressive stuff and make some threats, and oh, it'll be real fun. And of course, they're going to be afraid that they're being recorded because these people are so scared to ever be on camera because they hate being recorded because then that means that you have a proof that they said something that probably was awful and that they shouldn't have said. But you know, they can't be accountable for anything. So I guess that's just part of the situation. I can understand the main cause of the discord in the family is related to money. It's always money. All that stuff about, oh, you're so mean. If they got their coins, they wouldn't care if I was the Grinch himself. But yeah, I go in on. I think I work on Monday. If I don't, then I'll stream. I might still try to stream even if I do, depending on like what happens that day. But today is Judgment Day. I just hope I can survive. So Megumi, thanks for showing up. We had some other person as well, and have a good rest of your weekend.